People noticed something strange about Giannis recently. The Bucks were hosting Atlanta, and Giannis was clearly frustrated. He threw his towel in disgust after a teammate's dumb turnover. But more telling was this: down 104-85 in the third quarter, Giannis got blocked at the rim, and just stood there for a second before jogging back on defense. That's not like Giannis. 9 seconds later, the Bucks called a timeout. Instead of rallying with his team, Giannis slumped away, staring at the floor. What was going through his head? Oh, he's just tired, some might say. He's out there fighting without Dame. Yeah, right. The Bucks gave up 145 points to the Hawks. Isn't your defense supposed to improve without Dame on the court? Apparently not. This Bucks team is cooked. And Giannis is probably thinking to himself, where did it all go wrong? Do I really have to leave this team just to have a shot at another title? Well, that's exactly what other teams are hoping he's thinking. The New York Post recently reported that multiple league sources say Giannis Antetokounmpo has been, and still is, Plan A for the Brooklyn Nets. What? By the way, my Plan A is to buy the Warriors and start myself next to Steph Curry. Let's be realistic. Giannis isn't leaving Milwaukee to play for the Nets. No offense, he wants to win championships. That's the only reason he'd ever leave. Back in August 2023, he said, "At the end of the day, being a winner is more important than playing for one team. Winning a championship comes first. I don't want to be 20 years on the same team and not win another ring." Just 1 month later, he said the opposite. "I want to be a Milwaukee Buck for the rest of my career, as long as we're winning." This dude could not be more clear. Bucks fans, yes, Giannis recently said he would never ask for a trade. But 2 days after saying that, he also said, "My individual accomplishments, like winning MVP, they're not more important than winning a championship. That's a mistake some players make, staying in one place too long." What? Don't lie to yourself. This man will leave in a heartbeat, and that's why teams are circling the Bucks like vultures over roadkill. The real question is, can this team turn it around? Let's rewind. Just 4 years ago, Giannis was holding up the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Some people tried to downplay it. Oh, it was a lucky championship. The Nets were injured. KD's foot was on the line. Yeah. Well, Giannis hyperextended his knee and still came back to dominate. The Bucks went down 0-2 to Phoenix, and then took 4 straight to win the title. Since then, the team has let him down. In 2022, Chris Middleton was injured for the entire second round. Boston beat them in Game 7. In 2023, Miami beat the Bucks in the first round, as an 8th seed. A full-on collapse. So what did the front office do to help Giannis? Well, after losing to the Heat, they fired coach Mike Budenholzer. Embarrassing loss, sure. They were just the 6th 1 seed in history to lose to an 8th seed, but the first 1 seed to only get 1 win. Playoff Jimmy crushed their soul. But here's the thing. Firing a coach is easy. Replacing him, that's the hard part. Fans always say, fire him. But with who? The Bucks replaced Bud with Adrian Griffin. Huge mistake. He was fired 9 months later, and they brought in Doc Rivers. Let's just recap the coaching costs here. Letting Bud walk, $16 million still owed. Cutting Griffin, $12 million left. Signing Doc Rivers, $40 million deal. That's almost $70 million just in coaching contracts. But Giannis doesn't care about coaching payroll, he cares about winning. So what about basketball moves? Well, the Bucks went all in to get Damian Lillard. That cost them picks and Drew Holiday, their best defender. The kicker. Boston swooped in and grabbed Drew, the final piece they needed to complete their juggernaut roster. And so far, we haven't seen a single playoff minute of Giannis and Dame together. Even when they've played together in the regular season, it hasn't lived up to the hype. Somehow, with Giannis and Dame as all-stars, the Bucks have just the 15th ranked offense in the league. Oh. Let's take a look. The best offense in the league right now is OKC. It's not just talent, it's movement. Everyone is cutting, screening, relocating, it's poetry. Look at Jalen Williams. He sets a flare screen at the top of the key. 2 defenders get forced to turn their backs to the ball, which gives Shai Gilgeous-Alexander room to cook. Or this, a cluster of screens on the weak side that pulls the defense up, opening the paint for Shai to attack. That's how a modern NBA offense should look. Now let's look at the Bucks. You've got a ball screen up top, and 3 guys just standing around watching. No off-ball movement. No creativity. That allows defenders to just sit in the paint and clog things up. Watch this play. Giannis is literally begging Taurean Prince to cut. Please move. But the other 3 Bucks are just statues off the ball. Jimmy Butler. He can just ignore Prince cutting. Brandon Podziemski. Same thing. That means Giannis and Dame are playing 2-on-4. Good luck with that. And then there's the spacing. Sometimes, Giannis will get the ball off a handoff and start to build momentum, but then you realize, wait a minute. Why is Kyle Kuzma in the corner being guarded by Chet Holmgren? Kuzma's shooting 29% from deep. Chet doesn't even care. He sags off, clogs the lane, and now Giannis has to navigate another 7-footer in his path. The spacing? Trash. The scheme? Trash. So far, that's mostly on coaching. But now let's talk about the roster itself. At some point, it's no longer about coaching. It's no longer about effort or bad luck. It's about the roster and the front office. And the Bucks. They are out of time. Let's start with the roster. Yes, Giannis is in his prime. He's still an MVP-level player, maybe even the best player in the world. But after him, the picture gets ugly. Chris Middleton is averaging the fewest points per game since 2017. He's on a 3-year, $102 million contract, and he's been in and out with injuries for 2 years now. Brook Lopez is 36. Still solid, but declining. And then you've got Bobby Portis, Malik Beasley, Pat Connaughton, solid role players, but nothing that moves the needle in the playoffs. Oh, and no young talent to speak of. You'd think a contending team would have nailed at least 1 or 2 late draft picks over the years. But no. They picked Marjon Beacham in 2022 and Andre Jackson Jr. in 2023. Both have shown flashes but haven't been developed into real rotation guys. The Bucks don't have one guy under 25 averaging more than 6 points per game. There's no depth, no young core, no flexibility. And let's talk about assets. They gave up Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, a 2029 unprotected first-round pick, 2 unprotected pick swaps, all for Damian Lillard, who's 33 years old and making $63 million in the final year of his deal. He's owed over $215 million through 2027. And in that final year, he'll be 36. That is a brutal contract. And right now, Dame is not looking like the guy we saw in Portland. He's struggling to get separation, his 3-ball is streaky, and he's not drawing fouls like he used to. There are rumors already that the Bucks might consider trading Dame this offseason to retool the roster before it's too late. But guess what? His trade value isn't what it was a year ago. Now that teams have seen what he looks like on a big stage, with the pressure on, there might not be many suitors. So now the Bucks are stuck. They've got an aging, expensive core. No young players to build around. No tradable draft picks until 2031. A first-round exit last year. And maybe another one this year. And all the while, Giannis is dropping 35, 10, and 5 like it's nothing, watching it go to waste. How long is he supposed to stay patient? We already know he won't ask for a trade. But when that contract's up, it's over. He's made it clear. I want to be on a team that's winning, that's building toward a championship. I'm not signing an extension just because I love Milwaukee. In other words, love doesn't win rings. If the Bucks crash out of the playoffs again this year, especially if it's ugly, the pressure is going to be nuclear. And teams like the Knicks, the Warriors, the Lakers, even OKC, they're just waiting. Watching. If the front office doesn't pull off a miracle, Giannis is going to walk in 2025 or 2026. And that championship window slammed shut.